Hey guys, welcome back to Hitting the Field. We have a special Valentine's Day episode for you guys with Milwaukee Brewers pitcher Cam Robinson. I'm Nate Marrero.
And I'm Johnny Jackson. Don't even worry about dinner. Valentine's Day episode of Hitting the Field starts right now.
All right, what's up, Cam? How you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Man, doing good, man. Excited for baseball season. It's right around the corner. Excited to watch.
Yep. We start our spring training tomorrow, actually. We go in for starting our physicals and stuff.
All right, so
Man, how excited are you for
that?
Yeah. First big league spring training, so I'm actually ecstatic about it. Don't show up much, but nervous. You're around the big dogs now. Everyone that you play video games and you start using.
Is there any player you're looking forward to seeing in spring training?
Devin Williams, only because I was his throwing partner when he got hurt and was doing his rehab back in 2017.
Oh, wow. What was it like helping him with that?
So I didn't know much. I didn't know really who he was at all. He was carried himself like a normal guy. And then once he started getting healthy, got shipped off. And, you start turning on the TV and he's pitching in the Futures game or the World's game, World versus U.S. game. So to me, look up, see him pitching. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It was like a surreal moment. That was my throwing partner not even 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, now he's in one of the top stages for a prospect coming up.
So, Cam, I have to ask you a very serious question. Which changeup is nastier, Devin Williams or the one that I hit you with in high school?
I might have to give it to you. That thing started outside and came all the way across the plate and just.
Yeah. Looking at a 60 miles per hour.
One thing I'll say about Devin's changeup, ever since the first time I seen it, because no one told me he throws a different changeup than anyone else on the planet. It just, to me, it looked like it was spinning the wrong way, and I was like, "Oh, that a changeup? There's nothing about that says changeup coming in."
Yeah, what was it like playing baseball with Johnny?
I mean, it was always fun, honestly. The boys, we all would get a little rowdy, especially in the locker rooms, little pranks and jokes and stuff like that.
So what's the best prank that you're allowed to talk about in a public forum?
Okay. I don't exactly know who it was on the team. We're talking about high school days, right?
Yeah.
All right. But we locked someone in their locker. I don't remember who it was. We put their actual lock on the locker while they were inside.
Wait, oh my God, who was it? Oh, was it? I forget who it was, and I don't want to put anyone on blast if I get it wrong. So I
don't even know if we should name them, to be honest with you.
I don't know if we can.
Yeah. I would say that's probably one of the best ones. Or we can even go senior prank day when we're hanging up gars all around the school.
Oh man, that was good.
Yeah. So with Johnny, what did he actually throw a fastball, or was it just a changeup with Riz?
It was just a wipeout changeup, if that's a thing.
A wipeout changeup that hit your elbow.
Yeah, if I was a lefty, lefties would have swung at it and threw the bat into the stands. That's how.
Yeah. So Cam, take me through your perspective of the time where I hit you in an inter squad.
So I'm like, all right, JV kid, I can't get out. That looks terrible. I'm supposed to be one of the best hitters. I can't get out. So we go first pitch. I go, all right, I checked that well, cool. Second pitch, I'm like, oh snap, that's coming inside. Too late to get out the way, just turn. And it didn't hit this elbow, the front elbow. It hit the back elbow when I turned. So skipped off the back, hit the elbow. I was like, oh man, this hurts. I'm not gonna be able to lift tomorrow. Cool. I got a day off in gym.
Yeah. Thanks, baby kid.
Just got me in the right spot.
Oh
man, those are the worst. The worst. Man. So obviously spring training's tomorrow, man. How is this offseason compared to other off seasons, given that you're literally just a call away from the big leagues?
This one was kind of a little hectic because I got drafted into the DR League towards the end of the season. So I had about 2 weeks where we were working out a contract to go play over there. And the first week and a half, they were just kind of shooting the shit. So I kind of just told them no. And then it went from, okay, your season's over, you don't got to go play anymore, to how about you come out to Arizona and we'll do a little deload camp that lasted another month. So I went another month of throwing baseballs. Then end up going back home, get a month and a half off, and then I was right back out here for another, like a pitch development camp. So this off season, I didn't get as much rest as normal, but it's just really been on the go, honestly.
Nice. And so with the Brewers adding you to the 40-man roster, like how much has that helped you with like getting ready for spring training, or like does that affect your mindset any?
It helps a little bit. It shows you like where they have their mind set with you. Like for me, going through the org at such a young age, it was kind of, get treated like a child going through it. And then get a little bit older, then you get people that don't agree with some of the things you agree with. But once you get into like the 40-man or like the big league aspects to pro ball, it's just everyone's nicer. They kind of let you do your own thing. And like, if you want to change something, they're all open ears. So to me, it's been night and day from being added to the 40-man and being just a normal prospect.
Are there any players or coaches in the Brewers organization that have really helped you the most with your development, or you feel like you've connected with the most?
I have a couple. Carson Cross, he's no longer with us. He's in New Hampshire, I want to say, running like a little baseball facility. He helped me huge the 2019 season when I got sent back down to rookie ball. He helped me with like mentality stuff, figured out new pitches, and then COVID, there wasn't really much contact. And then 21, he was my coach in Carolina, which is our single A, our low A. And he was the main person that helped me with my slider at the time, which just made me have another pitch that now is probably my best pitch. So he's one. And then we had another pitching coach who was my coach in 2018, who helped me hone into like controls with my cutter. Huge preacher on got to be able to throw your fastball first before anything else. So he kind of got that through my head, and those would be like the two pitching coaches that helped me the most.
So you were a two-way player before you like transitioned to pitching. What was it like making that transition, from going from shortstop to becoming a full-time to PO basically?
Mm-hmm. So for me, it was like, you just finished a high school season hitting, now you're PO. And I would be watching some of the games like, why am I not hitting? Like, I can hit off of these guys right here. Mm-hmm. But the longer I've been going through the minors, I realized quickly that they made the right decision for me, and that was the way to go. Like, these guys are nasty. I mean, I wouldn't want to stand in on our worst pitcher, which our worst pitcher is not bad. Let's put that. But hitting's not for me anymore. Once upon a time, it was that everyone throws too hard and they're too nasty now.
Was there a particular moment where you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I should just stick to the pitching thing and not go up to it?
So we had a extended spring training game against the Indians, and they rolled out like 4 pitchers back to back. All were touching 100 or up to 102, and I was like, yeah, not for me. That was like a month into pro ball. That's when I gave it up.
Oh, talk about welcome to the big leagues moment, It's like 4 guys, 100. And speaking of the Cleveland, was Logan Allen your teammate? He was drafted by them, right?
Yeah, actually, I saw him on Saturday. We went to this golf tournament called Waste Management out here, and we hung around for a couple hours. But I actually missed playing against him by, I want to say, 2 weeks in AAA this past season.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So what was it like? I mean, so obviously both you guys got drafted. What was it like playing with him in high school?
We're neighbors, actually. We live 2 streets away from each other. So me and Logan had like a pretty special relationship where we pretty much do everything together. Go to football games, we play catch at the field, workout, all that nonsense that every athlete has to do. We'd literally be right next to each other doing it all.
Something I'll add here. It was just, it's just the average high school baseball team, right? You got a bunch of, 15, 16-year-olds chucking 64. And then you've got Logan and Cam going foul pole to foul pole long toss just on like a Tuesday afternoon coming back from geometry class. And I'm just sitting there on the bench being like, man, I'm real happy I'm on JV right now.
Yeah, we'd get after the long toss almost every day, as far as we can go.
That's awesome, man. So coming out of high school, you're committed to USF, but I mean, obviously you get drafted. What was the draft process like? Who were some of the teams that were potentially interested in you or you were connected with the most?
So I was connected with the Brewers the most. Another team that was interested were the Cardinals. But for me, it was a little more disappointing than I would have liked. There was like talks of going in the day 2, which is the 3rd through 10th round. And I was slotted to get picked up in the 8th to 10th round. Then call never came. Then the next day starts 11 through 40 at the time. And I was told the 11th round I was a shoe lock to get picked, and then ended up not happening. I turned off like the draft player pick count thing. I stopped watching it. Fast forward to the 23rd round, I get picked. I didn't even know I was asleep at the time. I get called from my agent. He's like, hey, I'm sure you saw you got drafted by the Brewers in the 23rd round. Congrats, all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, thanks, just really disappointed about it. But it told me I had to work harder at that point,
Mm-hmm.
You got 23 rounds of people and comp round people that are just quote unquote better than you in that situation.
Did that put a bit of a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, I'd say I had yes and no, because when I first got drafted into baseball wasn't like my first sport growing up. So I didn't have the correct mentality going into it. So being out here, it kind of felt like a glorified summer ball. With rookie ball, there's no like fans or anything that go to the games. It's just Arizona really hot. You have 100-degree nights every night of summer. So, I mean, it's nothing fun, but after, you get the right mental coach, kind of drills it into you that you're living a dream,
Mm-hmm. For sure, man. Were there any thoughts of potentially going to USF, or were you like always set on a pro ball? Obviously, obligatory horns down since we're at UCF. Were there any thoughts of potentially going the college route and going to USF?
So I would say I was about 95% going to college at the time I got drafted. With that 23rd round, I was like, yeah, I'm not going. These guys don't really care about me per se. And I want to say, like, at the time, I was committed to the University of North Florida. I went and did my orientation and everything, stayed the night on campus, the whole thing, visited all my teachers that I was going to have for that first semester, the whole 9. Then there was a situation with the coaching staff. The manager of the Sprays, he kept his word about, with all his players, if you sign here and you get hurt and never play a game, you still have your scholarship. So spoke volume to me. And the athletic director didn't like that because there's just people on scholarship that aren't playing. So that whole staff got fired. And then that's when I committed to USF. And at the time at USF, both my parents actually went to school at USF. I was a college baby, so I had the time at USF, and it felt like it was meant to be, And then my dad, he gave me a choice. He goes, look, I'll give you a bag of books or a bag of money. Which one do you want? And that made the choice easy.
Very easy choice.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're 17.
Oh, yeah. Forget about it. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Speaking of 17-year-olds, talk about that offhand Jeep there for a second. That pearly white Jeep that you rode around in.
R.I.P. My snow bunny. So I had a right side drive Jeep. It was on 35s, 3-inch lift, had an underglow, halo light bars, the whole 9. Beautiful. Sad to see it go, but I guess, someone else had a plan for it not to be in my life anymore.
Yeah, no, I think the person that drove into you was the person with those plans, apparently.
Yeah, so Nate, you and Nate would kind of get into it. You and Nate Peden a little bit. We'll get into about whose car was better. Can you definitively say whether your Jeep or his big red truck was better?
Hundo P, my Jeep. Come on. Look around in the Orlando area, or we'll go even closer to home, Orange City, Deltona to Barry, and you tell me anyone else driving on the right side of their car. It wins by
One of
default.
them.
Maybe my dad. Maybe my dad if he just gets real confused one day.
His old habits. He might have one.
That's hilarious. Man. So as a pro, man, what do you say are some of the biggest lessons that have stuck with you or have helped you the most?
I would say time management, focusing on like the mental side of the game are like the two biggest things that like have helped me. And also just letting your mind be free sometimes, like not being too locked in on a situation when it's way earlier in the day. Because I do like a lot of YouTube research, started reading a couple books about like mentality and flow states and all that fun stuff. And I found out that the average body gives, I want to say it's 4 to 5 flow states a day, which flow state is when you're doing anything basically and the brain is free and it's basically just like the body moving in motion at its highest percentage it can. So with that, whenever you lock in comes quicker versus whenever you're not locked in, or if you're locked in all day, you only get a set few.
So as a closer, like what's your routine, or like as far as, obviously it's very up in the air whether or not you're going to come in the game, just depending on how the game goes.
So for most of this year, the routine was for the first 3 innings, I'd be in like the dugout with the boys, cheering them on, getting everyone hyped, and just having fun, making the game fun. And then around 4th inning, I'd go up, start stretching. That'd take me to about the 6th inning, roughly. Grab a snack, and then like I'll head to the bullpen.
What's the nicest car you've seen out there in spring training so far?
Bunch of Benzes. We got hella AMGs, G-Wagons. What's a Tonka? What's a Tonka truck? GLEs, GLAs, a bunch of those. So I give it to those cars. Couple Range Rovers, Raptors, all the higher end cars that I wish I could have.
Hey, once you get called up by the Brewers, you'll definitely be able to get one.
Oh yeah, after the first season, I'll go. Give me a nice little car, or truck, or Jeep.
Get another right-sided Jeep.
Hey, they're hard to find. Still yet to find another one.
Yeah, no, that might have just been one of one.
Especially in the U.S. Gosh.
I'll ask my dad if he's got any connections across the pond.
Just have him ship it over. So how did so you were a starting pitcher in high school, and then was it known when you got drafted by the Brewers you're going to be moved to the bullpen, or how did that all come to be?
So my transition to the pen, it was more like lack of production as a starter than anything. Because like I said, my first 2 years I was in rookie ball in Arizona, and glorified summer ball was the mindset at 18. So I didn't pitch the best. And I had a situation where I started a season off really hot, sub-2 ERA through like 22 innings. And I got a text saying that the Brewers love what I'm doing. Don't think like they haven't noticed it, but it's my first full year being like a pitcher only. So they don't want to move you up. They want to make sure you progress correctly. And in my mind at 18, I'm like, that's BS. Like, I'm proving I'm better than everyone here. Like, what are we? So I went on like a 3-4 week decline where I would go 2, maybe 3 innings, give up 5-6 runs, just didn't care. And then the next year, I missed the team flight, went home for like all my friends' graduations, and on the flight back got delayed 3 hours. So I missed my connect in Dallas to Phoenix to have our team flight the next morning to Colorado Springs. So missed that flight. That was like strike 1 in 2019. I was late for a bus that I was starting a game for or in. That was strike 2. And then something else, something small that really isn't a big deal at all, that I got in trouble for, strike 3. So I ended up getting sent back down just as like a punishment. And this is all I'm a starter. So the next COVID year, I come into spring training and I'm in like a hybrid role where I'm starting some games and I'm also like piggybacking some games, which is 2 starters, second starter is a piggyback guy. And then whole season bang, come into 21, and now I'm fully bullpen.
Nice. And in a way, are you grateful that it worked out that way?
I am now. There's still times where I'm like, man, I wish I was a starter. But, you know, I've been progressing through our system fairly fast as a reliever, so I don't have a problem with it. Maybe one day I'll get a chance to be a starter again, but if I keep, you know, doing well in a closing role or late relief role, then I don't see a reason to switch back.
So you went from high A to AAA last season. Was there a moment where you felt like everything like kind of clicked that allowed you to progress through their system so quickly?
See, last year I had great numbers. It was mentally kind of shaky because started in Wisconsin, which is high A, and it was me and another pitcher who's close buddy of mine, probably best friend, Justin Jarvis. He got up to AA last year, and they told us together that we're going to Wisconsin for a month to a month and a half max. Just pitch, be your guys' selves, do your thing. You guys will get moved up month and a half into the season. The day of a month and a half, we still weren't moved up. We just started kind of getting upset with the org, calling them liars and stuff. And about two and a half weeks later, I ended up getting moved up to AA. And in between like that after a month into the season where it was 30 degrees every game, and it's coming up to like 60 is like when stuff started to click. And then I got up to Biloxi where now it's 90 degrees. So it feels good. Feels like I'm back home. Mm-hmm. And those 6 weeks, I just absolutely dominated AA. Wasn't thinking anything of it. Get moved up to AAA, and our pitching coach, who's now our head pitching coordinator on the minor league side, he's asking me, you know, did you expect to get moved up so quick? And I was like, honestly, no, I just got here like 6 weeks ago. I mean, that was faster than any other move I've seen. And it just kind of rolled into, you know, the end of the season. I had a point in AAA where I kind of lost my slider and like my control a little bit. Just game getting a little too big. Mm-hmm. But I'd say everything clicked about like a month into the season.
So is there any particular area of your game you feel like you want to improve the most this season?
So I've started on it. My slider, I used to just kind of throw it, not know really what to do to get like the movements and shapes that I want. But being in this pitch development camp over the last month, it's all clicked. Like I understand my keys to throw the slider now. And then, I mean, just being able to spot up cutter wherever I want to put it is like the last key piece.
That's awesome. So I have a few rapid fire questions for you. So do you think Alex Rodriguez should be a Hall of Famer?
Yes. I do.
Yeah,
you need background knowledge on it?
Oh, please tell me. Like I'm not. He was awesome. You're a Yankee fan, so.
Once upon a time, until 2017, I was a Yankees fan.
How did that change?
Hey, they don't pay the bills.
Oh yeah, that. Jeez, I connected the dots. Oh yeah, he got drafted by the Brewers. That makes a lot of sense.
But I think A-Rod's a Hall of Famer because he was one of, you know, the players when I was growing up that everybody knows, you know, pretty much changed game-esque player. Generational talent. I mean, on the Yankees, I would still say he was the best shortstop on that team.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Talent-wise, at least.
Okay, I mean, as a Derek Jeter fan, I'll allow it, I think.
And I mean, the ultimate thing to get you into the Hall of Fame, I mean, he's got rings too.
He's got one. Yeah. And they don't win that ring in 2009 without him.
Exactly. I mean, he's got one. So I'd put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, came to an era where like steroids was huge. So and made baseball huge again. How are you gonna fault him for what the whole league was doing?
Yeah, I mean, David Ortiz still got into big leagues, not to mention that Urban still got into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So,
You a big Bonds and Clemens guy as well?
I think they both deserve it. Bonds is probably the best hitter to ever play baseball, like all around when it comes to hitting for average and power.
even before that whole steroids thing, he was a Hall of Famer. He was a
Agreed.
5-star player with the Pirates.
Agreed. That I don't know. We got two people that are too old doing the Hall of Fame votes.
Yeah. Who do you want to face the most in the big leagues
Right now,
right now?
I want Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Right now, that's what I want. Simply because he just had an insane season, and that'd be awesome to punch him out coming off of that.
That'd be talk about a moment you'll remember forever.
Oh man, I hope it's the debut, first batter.
That'd be something, man.
Right as he was closing in on 62, it felt like there were a couple of guys kind of losing their command.
Losing their command.
Hey, so not conspiracy theory, right? The baseballs, there was something. All the baseballs that Pujols and Judge were hitting
Were different.
they were all different because they had to have like a specific like blue light tag.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all know Rob loves to change balls. Depending on what game it is, he'll juice them or he'll, dumb them down a little bit. So I could see that being a thing.
Oh, definitely. And it makes no sense. Like, he hit 61 with the same baseball. Like, why mess with what could be 62?
Yeah.
Is that frustrating as a pitcher, like going into a game and you not knowing what kind of bounce that ball is going to have off the bat?
Yes, but it's more so the baseballs all have like different fields. So they started a thing where like they pre-tacked baseballs so that to stop the whole pine tar, spider tack, whatever all the stuff is. They like pre-tack baseballs and then like they made like a rosin bag that has some tackiness to it, so it just makes your hands sticky once they're sweaty. And when they were like messing with those, like switching them in and out bi-weekly, all of like the pitchers, we were hitting people like crazy just from different baseballs.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets a little aggravating once you don't have like that same feel for a baseball. You're using two different baseballs every week. Like don't got that same feel.
No, man. So who would win in a Call of Duty tournament with your teammates?
Let me see it. So I got me coming number one. We got Joey Weimer. He's a dog at COD. We got Freddie Zamora. He might be number one, actually. Freddie Zamora, number one. Me too. Weimer 3. And then we got a bunch of guys that are like above average good, but they're not the next level good on COD. So I don't know who I'm going to put like fourth for that squad, for the number one squad.
Is that mainly Call of Duty? Do you play any other games?
I've been getting into FIFA a lot, actually.
FIFA.
So right now on my PlayStation, I have FIFA, the show, Madden, UFC, Harry Potter.
Oh.
Gotta get into that. Just beat God of War like 2 weeks ago.
It was good. It was really good.
Yes, it was. Makes a grown man cry. That's how good the story was.
Speaking of MLB The Show a little bit there, how long you gonna wait to try and get your real 99 card? Have you already sent off the Twitter DM to Ramon?
No, so I sent out one last year. They didn't even respond to me. So like I think I'm out of luck when it comes to this card. I gotta actually do something, cool for them to notice me.
My sister actually worked for them last year, so I may be able to. I don't think I have any pull anymore, but I may be able to DM someone who might be able to help you out there.
Hey, I need it to be a starting card so I can throw. Actually, reliever card, 125 stamina.
Have you seen that 99 Kenley they had a couple years back? Listen,
Yes.
that cutter, that slider, they throw you a sinker. Throw like one
Yeah.
2-seamer in spring training. They'll give you a sinker.
That's all I need. I need to just throw one, show them I got it, and then call it a day.
Pray they call it a sinker and not a 2-seam.
They might end up calling it a 4-seamer.
Is there any pitcher you try to model your game after? I guess since you're bringing up Kenley Jansen, any pitcher you enjoy watching the most, you learn from the most?
I like high energy pitchers. So like Stroman was always my favorite. Once I got drafted, like hearing his story, and then who doesn't love watching DeGrom? Like, dude's an animal. Got Liam Hendricks, who's an absolute animal.
Yeah, literally.
Anyone that is standing at the plate, like that's
even when he's mic'd up.
Let's see. I mean, shoot, I love watching Corbin Burns pitch. We have pretty similar cutters, and watching how he, paints pictures, throwing it on both sides of the plate, it helps. It helps, to mimic that.
Mm-hmm.
Or try.
I guess last question. If you weren't a baseball player, what would you be doing right now?
So goal A, or plan A was in baseball, actually. I was going to school to be an anesthesiologist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did that come to be?
So I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field growing up. And then I want to say around towards the end of my sophomore year, maybe going into my junior year, over the summer, just visiting different schools and stuff. Me and my mom were just talking about what exactly I could do in the medical field that would pay well. And granted, it's a whole bunch of schooling, but I was always really good at math. So it was one of those things in the medical field that I would be able to use that. Yeah.
So speaking of that math and that kind of aspect, are you really, really big on seeing the Rapsodo and TrackMan numbers, or do you just have someone else who kind of reads and gives you a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Started thumbs up, thumbs down. Now I'm starting to get a little more into it because I didn't really understand it too much because I just never looked at it. It was just kind of they told me what the numbers were, and I'm like, sounds good, call it a day. But now that it's more involved in professional baseball, I've started to understand it into a deeper level pretty much.
So what's the biggest thing that understanding those numbers has really helped you to kind of either refine or to kind of take that next level in terms of your arsenal?
So I'll just, for example, while I was here, my slider, I would have some, do you know the TrackMan numbers by any chance?
Yeah.
All right. So my slider would average -6.5 to 7. And it was because I was throwing same slider, just how I was throwing it. It was 2 sliders, one that was basically a cutter and the other one that would sweep a little more. So get up to -14. And my fastball or my cutter ranges from -1 to -7 by itself. So if I'm throwing a slider that's worse than that, and with all the data, now my slider, being able to see, we have slow cameras, they're really zoomed in. I've gotten my cutter and slider to separate a bunch. My slider, my slider, it ranges from -18 to -22, which is, that's double, triple what I was throwing before. So that was one of the big things that TrackMan and the Rapsodo has helped a ton with.
Yes. So, is there a pit? So you got the cutter slider thing going on. Is there something else in the works? I know at one point in one off season, you said the Brewers are trying to kind of get you to learn a curveball for a little bit. Is that scrapped and done with?
No. So the curveball's still there. I actually got named Org's best curveball at the end of 2021. But this past year, it was more a slider focus, trying to learn it per se, because I kind of picked up my slider, just picked it up and started throwing it. Just didn't know how to throw it, just picked it up, had a grip, and just threw it. So the whole year was trying to figure out the slider. So this year I kind of fine-tuned the slider, and then now I have my true 3-pitch mix again.
All right. So is there, if you could, magically add a guy on your AAA team, right? If you can magically add any of their pitches to get that 4-pitch mix, who are you taking?
Okay, so we have a lefty named Robert Gasser. We traded him for Josh Hader, one of my boys.
Oh,
I want his sinker, but I don't want it to be a cutter for me. I want it to be a sinker.
yeah.
It's nasty. Or we have another lefty in AA that throws a nasty one-seamer, like cuts across the plate and then runs back like a sinker. Those are the 2 pitches I want right there. Just give me a sinker.
Have you tried to really throw a sinker and it's just like, eh?
So I have times since like I'm really supinated, which is like this way, and you gotta pronate for sinkers. So occasionally, like when I would throw one, just BSing, like it'd be really nice. But last year I would throw like a 2-seam up in the zone because I get behind it more than I get behind on my cutter. So it was just more of a 4-seam than anything. Yeah. Just a tiny bit of run.
It's a little bit.
Have you paid attention to the World Baseball Classic at all?
A little bit. I've seen the teams. They're actually playing out here in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I'm
Arizona, Miami.
to get to a game.
Did you think about trying to sign up for it?
Those 2 big of names. I'm a nobody compared to those people.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
if Mr. Cortez dropping out, you might have a chance. You never know.
I mean, I got a shot at 3 teams: U.S., DR, and Team Puerto Rico, and all 3 of those teams are stacked.
My
The
dad would
DR.
sign a letter for you for Great Britain in a heartbeat, Cam. Don't you forget it.
Hey, let me know. I'll go pitch for them right now.
I've looked at the Team Mexico roster. I think I think they could probably make something work. Not to name names, but I look at Taiwan Walker's on Team Mexico. I'm like, huh?
No,
Obviously,
Tyler Walker, he's good. He's actually good.
Yeah. I'm just trying to connect the dots. Like, how did he end up on that team?
I don't think he's Mexican, but it's down the line somewhere. He's got it in him.
No, but yeah, I think Dominican Republic should be the favorites.
Yeah, I want to say it's them and Team Puerto Rico. They're like favorites right now.
Yeah.
Wish the boys could hop on DraftKings and throw on some bets on that, but we can't.
That kind of got ruined.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's about
300 hitman or 3,000 hitman.
Oh, man. So something I have to ask, because I've played a couple pro ballers just through matching up and through whatnot. What is it about being a minor leaguer? Because major leaguers are all right. What is it about being a minor leaguer that makes you the greatest MLB The Show players that I've ever seen?
So for me, since being a pitcher, I know how to mix it up. So I've murdered people with my pitching. And then like for other people, it's easy to, everyone has habits when they're playing the game. So whether it's doubling up or like how they're mixing their pitches, they just kind of go through the same thing. So you do 9 innings of that. Come on.
Figure it out.
I'm bound to hit a couple bombs off you. And we also have just a ton of free time.
Do you like using guys with like a similar mix to you, or do you just like, the big names?
No, I want to win. I want to win.
Is your road to the show player a 2-way player? I need to know.
So I had one that was a 2-way player. Games took too long to play.
Oh, yeah.
Catched it. I got a catcher, 99 arm, 99 speed. He has over 100 pop on both sides and over 100 contact on both sides. Pretty much the greatest player to ever play baseball.
Oh, man. So do you use your creative player in ranked seasons?
Oh, duh. It's a cheat code. It's a it's a free hitter.
Where do you stand on bat flips and celebrations?
Huge advocate for him. I think a hitter, if you hit my best pitch 430 feet and you want to sit there and look at it, I'm right there with you. I'm watching it too.
What's the biggest nuke that you've ever seen hit off you?
Nick Senzel. So 2018 extended spring training. This is maybe a full week before he made his debut. Starting the game, he's the first batter. Go fastball, takes it, strike, curveball, ball, fastball inside, just like kind of blew him up with it, fouled it off. And I'm like, first didn't know who he was, didn't realize he had a big league helmet on. Those are things that I should have, took notice of. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna blow a fastball right by him. Fastball up in the zone. He might have hit that ball 500 feet. It hit off of the top of the batter's eye, like the top, like not just kind of the top. Nah, like the top square, dead center of the batter's eye.
Was it one of those ones where you feel like you almost can't make eye contact with the guy walking around the bases?
No, so the outfielders are my boys always. So the center fielder, he turned and started running for it. So I'm turning around looking for.
That's a good guy. That's a good teammate right there.
That's a great teammate.
Not until I hit the batter's eye and I knew where the ball was. I was like, bro, come on, why are you running? So I turn around, I'm looking, dead sprint, just running backward. All I see is his last name and his number. I'm like, okay, well, he's running after it. Maybe he'll catch it, because I didn't know how well he hit the ball, didn't know where the ball went. And like he gets to the warning track and he just like comes to a hard stop. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't even see the ball. Boom! Sounds like a gunshot off the top of the batter's eye. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be a long day. And at this time, I'm a rookie ball guy. He's a AAA guy.
Yeah.
And then I got two more AAA guys behind him, and then a AA guy. Double.
Are there any
home run, double, or broken bat single? I'm like, yo, this is gonna be the worst day ever.
Oh, you go, Nate. You got it.
I'd say, who are some of the guys who are in the big leagues now that you've faced in the minor leagues?
Honestly, I don't know. Somebody with the Guardians, Tyler Freeman. He's for sure in the show. Something Burleson with the Cardinals. I gave up a home run to a dude on the Cardinals, actually. He hit one in the postseason, and they gave him a 99 card. So, like, when I got onto the show, I was like, I think Yepes Perez, maybe? Yeah, he hit a bomb off me, and next day 2 weeks later, he had a postseason card in the show, and I'm like, bro. I actually punched out Steven Piscotty.
Yeah.
In AAA this year, so that was cool. I don't know what his nickname's like. El Tortuga.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. I faced him. I punched him out once, and he flew out once.
That's a hard dude to punch out.
Oh my goodness.
He's like my height, and I'm not that tall.
Dude, he's a big boy. To say the least.
Oh man. What's your walkout song right now for this season?
It is Brand New by Taylor Gang featuring Wiz. The second half of the song, so Wiz's real name's Cameron. The second half of the song, like the ad libs say Cam a bunch. And he's like, Cam did this, Cam did that, blah, blah, blah. So I thought it fit perfect, being Cam myself.
I'm honestly shocked you didn't use a Cowboys song, seeing as that was an interesting night looking to my right and seeing you at Cowboys Orlando.
I was going crazy line dancing. It was fun.
Every Thursday,
who's the better line dancer out of the two of us?
You might have me on that one. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta watch people do what they're doing, and then I'll hop in halfway through the song.
Yeah, so you got a lot of you talk about getting a lot of the college experience out of UCF. What was the best part of that? What's the best part of going to college without actually having to sit in a classroom?
Not having to go to school. It's just one of those things where you got all the college people. You have your friends obviously from the area that go to that school, so it's like you're doing that college hangout, where everyone has different schedules, but on the weekend everyone's hanging out together, just talking about their weeks, having children beverages at 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Orange juice.
Yeah.
Orange juice and apple juice.
Oh man, yeah. This is so. Last question I got. So it's a one feels really good, one feels really bad, and you got to tell me which one's more extreme, right? Throwing an absolute dot, executing a pitch to perfection, homer, right? And then the hanging, the oh crap slider, that's a whiff for strike three. Which extreme is more devastating to your mental state?
To the mental state, perfect pitch home run. Because the audacity of these hitters, they'll let you know it's nasty and stuff like that. And like, you're like, bro, you just got a home run off me. I'm not trying to hear that.
Is there any, what's your best example of that kind of situation?
2017, first year, I went a total of 0.0 innings, faced 6 batters. I was 94, 96, and every pitch that was outside corner just got hit the other way. They were like all really good pitches, just single after single after single. And all I could do was just watch the ball go through the infield.
That's the worst.
Or I got one. Another one against the then Indians, now Guardians. Just some super skinny, tall lefty. Didn't think he was a good hitter or anything like that. 95 low and in. He hit it probably 380 down the line. And it looked like it was getting more air when it made it to the wall.
Oh man.
Ground.
Damn.
What's the most impressive batter you think you've ever struck out?
May I say Steven, just straight because of the career he's had.
Yeah. He's
definitely the biggest name for me. Honestly, I don't really pay attention to too much of like the hitters, really, because for me, I have to think everyone sucks and not give them their credit before so like that I don't pitch somewhat scared to them. Let me see. I guess last year there was a dude on the 40-man for the Dodgers in high A, and I punched him out on 3 pitches. That was probably last year my favorite punch out, just because I was talking crap about him, and I mean you only have to back it up, right?
Yeah. Are you a trash talker? Or are you normally quiet? Is that how do you approach that?
On the mound, I like to talk a lot of trash, but it's not like to where like the hitter knows what I'm saying or anything like that. I'm just more saying it low enough to no one else hears it, but I know what's going on.
Yeah,
Like, it builds up like some anger, get the juices flowing, try to throw harder. I've had times where like I'll say something and the umpire behind me will go like, "What'd you say?" I'm like, "Oh, I was talking to myself." Like.
So are you the Scherzer where you're just saying the nastiest things known to man?
I don't even hold the glove up. The glove's on like the waist. I'm just talking. Like I was mother effing a hitter once, and like he looked at me and he's like, "Yo, what happened? Like you good?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, my fault. I'm just talking to myself."
It could be an intimidating thing too if he's like, "Dude, what's that guy doing up there? Like he's about to throw a baseball. He looks all pissed."
Yeah, bro. He's a psychopath up there, dude.
You just see Cam's shoulders start tweaking and his mouth start foaming a little bit.
Oh, jeez. You just do like the Randy Johnson of John Kruk, just freaking airmail one, and then like
you airmail him, and then you just dot 3 in a row.
I think Cam actually did that to me once in an air squad, like threw one off the backstop at me. Just a little heat check.
That's the least you could do after you plunked him with the second pitch.
Wait, I think it was the same day. I think Martello made me stand in against you.
And I threw like the first one to the backstop just like to be funny.
Oh my god. Oh, I think I needed new pants after that one. I had to throw them away.
Man, that's how I can think of, man. Is there anything you want to add? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't really got much on the top of my head. I mean, love to come back sometime during the season to have some more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have you back. No, this is great. No, seriously, thank you so much for like agreeing to talk to us. It's huge.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, bro. Anytime.
Thank you so much.